Thank you so much for clicking this video. This is a series of videos around thinking like a YouTube engineer. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about what I've learned at school or in varsity. I've got a diploma in software development, so I want to give you an idea of what is it that I've learned in school, and also as I'm continuing with this series and advanced programming concepts, so that we can have an idea of what is it that I've been taught in school and what are the things that I have learned from other coding channel. Because most people, when you are telling them that you've got a diploma in software development, they start not to relate to you. Maybe they feel like everything that you know you've been taught in school. So I just want to give you an idea of what is it that you are taught in school and how valuable it was, and also what I've learned on YouTube and googling things, and also how valuable it is. I'm hoping to inspire you. Let's say, for instance, if you never went to school for programming, like, I want to show you that the coding channels that you are watching, what you are doing now, it's also valuable, and it's packed with a lot of information. For instance, let me just give you just a random just a simple idea, or some sort of a simple tip, just to show you that what you are doing now, it's very, very important. I finished school in 2013. I was in school in 2010, 2011, 2012. So 2013, like, I was done with it. I was done with school. So that was then. So imagine if I didn't some sort of got into self-teaching, like looking at 2013 up until now, it's 2023. That will mean that I'm not updated, and more especially with technology. It keeps on changing. Today there is this framework, tomorrow there is that one, and the day after tomorrow there is Vue, there is Node.js there. So it's a lot of things. So it's very, very important that you keep on learning new things and updating yourself as time goes by, so that you can stay relevant. Okay, now let's just jump straight to the topic. I've got a software diploma in I've got a diploma in software development. In school, on my first year, we were taught pseudocode. First of all, we were given an idea of what IT is. I remember when I was asking my lecturer, like, when are we doing some sort of my first calculator? I want to do my own thing. I want to do my own application. And he slowed me down a little bit, and he gave me some sort of a story, which served as a foundation of what programming or software development is. The story goes like this. There was this truck which was going to some sort of, let's say, another country. So now between this country and that country, there was a bridge, and the height of the truck was some sort of higher than the bridge itself, so the truck couldn't sort of pass through. So people were asked, like, what is the solution? Obviously people came up with different solution, that okay, we can hire an helicopter to lift the truck from this side to the other side. The other one said that okay, fine, we can take a long route, we can go back and then move to the right side, and then go through the forest and pass through the river until we get on the other side. But then my lecturer concluded saying that there was another guy who has been standing away a little bit, watching people as they come with their own solution. He was strategically thinking. So when he was asked, like, say, what do you think? He said, okay, fine, for me, I think what we can do, we can deflate the tires, and then from then, so that when we deflate the tires, the height of the truck will decrease, and then we will push the truck under the bridge, and then when it's on that side, we can then inflate the tires again, and then the truck can go. So what my lecturer was trying to do, he was trying to drill in me that programming is not about being that smart guy who can code everything and who can code faster, but the essence of it's coming up with a well thought of plan in solving some sort of a problem. So he just gave me the idea of what software development is. So it's all about observing, looking at a problem from different angles, and also finding some sort of an efficient and an easy and a simple solution to a problem. So basically, I hope now you understand what software development is about. If you don't know any coding language, you are struggling with HTML and you don't know what CSS is and JavaScript is, believe me, software development is not about that. It's about coming up with solutions that are very simple, that are easy to understand, and also that are efficient. So it's possible to be a better software developer without even coding. Okay, so in school on year one, we were taught pseudocode. A pseudocode is some sort of a fake code. It's not language specific, it's not C sharp, it's not PHP, it's not JavaScript, but it helps you to think logical. For instance, we will be given tasks like making a tea. The lecturer will ask, what are the things that are involved when making a tea? Obviously, we will say, okay, you boil the water, you organize the sugar and whatever, and then he will some sort of go through all our instructions. And first of all, you will find out for the first time, or on the first time, we will write some sort of paragraphs, and he will some sort of take us away from paragraph and introduce us to some sort of a bulleting or numbering our instructions. And then from there, after that, he will go on to talk about what if you can take this step before this one, and then you'll find out that just by twisting the step, now you already got a different product, something that is not drinkable. So in that way, we were taught how to think logical, and then we were introduced to different types of problems that can be solved with the computer, and heuristics problem that involved emotions, problems that the computer cannot solve. So we're given an idea of what a computer can solve and what a computer cannot solve. For instance, a computer cannot solve like love issues. Computer is not it doesn't feel, and it's not sympathetic. So those problems cannot be solved with the computer. And also, okay, I'm going to only touch based on the module software development. I'm not going to talk about system software and information system. So we were taught that on year one. It was more like a pseudocode. A pseudocode is an English-like version, watered down version of any programming language. It makes things simple. You are being taught to think logically. Okay, and then on year two, we were introduced to Visual Basic, where I think the concept of object-oriented programming, we started the concept of object-oriented programming. Not that much, just the basic, and also user interface. I think before that we started coding on command line. Yes, we started coding on command line, like for instance, asking an input from the user, typing 1 + 1 then is equal to 2, and then we got into some sort of object-oriented programming. And then on year 3, that's where we did everything. There was no front end, to be honest, because Visual Studio comes with some sort of a drag and drop interface. Like the buttons are there, you can drag and drop the input. So in terms of front end, we never did any front end stuff. In terms of web related coding or web development, we didn't do web development. Everything that we do, it was like desktop based, where we're using Visual Studio as an IDE. So on year 3, we were taught object oriented programming, and also the 3 business layers of development, like some sort of the front end, the business logic, and the back end. And then we were introduced to database, SQL, and sort of MySQL. So everything was desktop based. So in terms of database, we were using Access, Microsoft Access. Microsoft Access can be used as a database for a system that runs inside your machine, inside the Windows machine, whereby there will be the application itself, and the database side will be Access, because Access has got some tables and row, and also you can set things there, primary keys and whatever. So we're using Access. And then on the third year we did a final year project where we are being tested on everything. The other thing that we were taught in school, I think we were taught planning logically, something that after school I don't think I have practiced it, and I also feel guilty for not practicing it, because in school, before you write any code, you first write it on paper. For instance, on the upper page of the paper, you will first you are being taught to declare all your variables. Obviously, Visual Basic uses dim as to declare a variable, dim whatever. So you will first write everything down on paper. That has helped us a lot as the student, because you write the code, and then as a group you guys present to each other that, okay, this is what I think, these are the variables that I'm going to use, and then you guys will discuss the issues and also the errors in somebody else's logic before you go and type the code on the computer. That saves a lot of time, because when you are thinking while you are coding, it becomes a problem. I also observe that on me when I'm coding or when I'm teaching something, doing a YouTube tutorial. If I'm thinking at the same time I'm trying to change things, sometimes you struggle with simple errors. Maybe you've just forgot a comma or whatever, and you will struggle because of your mind is being overworked. You are doing a lot of things. But if you can first plan on paper, and also what was important on planning on paper, we were taught to trace the code. Number one, we were taught that to write every line of code in a separate line, so that you can take a ruler and then start from this line and tell us what's going on in this line. Maybe for instance, I'll say, okay, in this line I'm declaring a variable, and the variable, it's an integer, and in this line I'm assigning a number to that variable, and then in this line I'm asking the input from the user, and then in this line I'm doing this and this. So basically that is it. And then also on the other side, there was technical programming, which was, we were being taught Java. So meaning that the development software as a module, we were taught object-oriented programming, but in Visual Studio, in Visual Basic. And then technical programming, we were taught object-oriented programming, but in Java, in pure Java. However, we didn't some sort of dive deep into the essence of object-oriented programming as I know now. So as much as in school the modules or the course, it's well structured, it's more focused, and also it's straight to the point, and also there are measures to that have been applied to check your progress. For instance, if you've got 50 out of 100, then you know exactly where you are. Of which when you are self-taught and you are teaching yourself from YouTube, and there is no such a thing. Sometimes at some point I'm also a victim of that. You don't know how much do you know. You just know that I know how to code, but if now you are being asked on an interview, what do you know and what you don't know, it's very tough. You always push the employer to give you a problem that you can solve. But somebody who's been, let's say, in school or in a course or a boot camp, they can tell you that I know my SQL, I know object-oriented programming, I know this, I know testing, I know this. So when you are teaching yourself, those are not the things that you know. But when it comes to the essence of object-oriented programming, I would like to say we were taught the basic, like some sort of the go about it. This is how it works and this is what it does. I didn't get the essence of it, like practically. Also, the other thing, we were only focused on business application, not multimedia application. It's like we were told that maybe, let's say, you are going to be hired by an insurance company, and then you can build a system for them to check certain things, or you can build a point of sale system. But those systems, they were not based on, let's say, you can create your own social media application. So guys, that's about it in terms of what I learned in school. Obviously the subject was not only like software development. There was GUI, graphical user interface, there was information system, where we are more like dealing with information And then there was system software where you are being taught about computer, what else, networks. Obviously, I think that was year 1 and year 2. On year 3, some other people specialized on the network and they continue with that, but us people who have chosen software development, then we have dropped all other things and then we're focusing strictly on software development. So that's about it, about what I've learned in school. Obviously I did well, more especially in terms of my major software development. I think I got 2 distinction on year 2 and year 3. On year 1, I think I was silly, I was new, I was like just like any other kid, so I've passed it, but I didn't do well as I wanted to. But on year 2 I was fine, and on year 3 I was fine. Just as a bonus, what I did when I've finished my own software diploma, I didn't take it. Like, I really didn't take it. I think I went back to take it a year after. I started on 2010, 11, and 2012, but I collected my diploma, I think, later in 2013 or somewhere there, or I think it was even 2014, but I didn't take it because I was so obsessed with the fact that I can build my own thing. And really, the other thing, I didn't feel like I can attach my overall information that I've learned in school. I can take it and sum it up or wrap it up and put it in a piece of paper, which is called a diploma, that I can use to ask for job. Working for someone wasn't really in my system, and it wasn't in a true sense of the word. I went to IT just to learn how things go, and also I was coding before I go to school, like to go and study like IT. So that's the kind of person that I am. I believe in solutions. I believe in practically presenting or proving that you are capable, instead of like depending on a piece of paper to say that I'm capable. So that's me. And also, okay, lastly, I didn't attend the graduation. I didn't pitch, so maybe I was ignorant. I'm interested on maybe what do you think about such, because sometimes you think that's a normal thing, but some other people might feel like that's not normal, that's weird. But to be honest, I was business focused. I was obsessed with starting my own thing, and that is it. And I did start my own thing, and I sold my own software. Like, the first application that I've sold, it was a time management system for internet cafe. I was using a Visual Basic, and also it was some sort of an accounting forward slash production system for printing, because after school I got into printing as a graphic designer, brand strategist, production manager. So I was in printing industry for a very long time, and also I didn't go to school for graphic design. So I did develop that app, but it didn't sell that well. Most companies didn't take it. I'm not sure, maybe I was expensive, or maybe they didn't want to take a chance with me. The only thing that I've noticed about companies when you are new and when you are not established and when you are a person selling an application is the matter of trust. Your application, not only it's helping them to solve a problem because they can see that it's helping them, but it's dealing with sensitive information, because the application that I was doing, it was capturing the sales of the company, it was capturing the orders, it was capturing like money, it was capturing a lot of things, which I believe that's why it really didn't sell that much, because it was solving the problem for the client, but the client didn't want to sign on it. And I think most of them, it was because of the information that it's being consumed by the application, and also they didn't trust what am I going to do with their information. But I did try to sell it in many companies. I think it was only used by a guy who owns a printing company who happened to be my friend, and that was the only person who has used it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I think you got an idea of what is it that I've learned in school. I think my next video is going to, okay, let me not tell you what I've learned on YouTube, because this some sort of list of things are going to give you clearly an idea of what I have learned outside the school. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because there are more interesting things coming. Thank you so much. See you on the next one.